a very big LAN party, I guess. Because I would assume it's going to be similar to how people played Diablo 2, where you're just going to be a small party going through a world of mostly NPCs, just kind of a storyline. And then I think they said there's going to be a PvP side game, basically. So, I mean, it does make sense to me that you're supposed to be playing multiplayer all the time, but I don't know. My argument, I feel like, is actually falling apart. I feel like they do have slightly good arguments on this. I mean,
there's only one way I'll find out once the game finally comes out. Actually, the beta, which will be here very, very soon.
Are you applying to get into that?
I'm already applied for.
Okay.
If you have a BattleNet account, if
really?
you click
opt
in, then you're opt into everything.
Okay. Then I should check mine, actually, because I haven't been in mine in a while. And I had the opt-in stuff all checked
you
up.
get an email.
Okay.
I mean,
well, then I'm probably not. Well, I mean,
it's not. The beta's not out yet.
Yeah, and they don't.
And
I'm
I believe it's
pick
next
it
week
yet.
or something.
Okay.
But yeah, you have another Diablo story in front of you also.
I do, and I just kind of shuffled it away. All right. The game will not have mod support, which I think we found out a while ago, right? And now they're claiming in their defense.
Out there for the people who have ever seen World of Warcraft, one of the biggest things World of Warcraft had was an absolutely customizable interface. Mm-hmm. Absolutely everything you did in that game was customizable, which was a fantastic idea.
Absolutely.
Everybody,
every game that does that, people love it.
When you're raiding with people, every single person is looking at the game differently.
Mm-hmm.
One person's, looking at it with, 60 bars on their screen. I had every single one I could put because I was a healer, and so I had to have 90 things going on at once.
Yeah.
And so not having this in a Blizzard game is outrageous.
Yes, but, well, was it already Activision Blizzard by the time World of Warcraft came out?
Activision Blizzard came out when Wrath of the Lich King came out, so the third expansion to...
All right.
the second expansion, the third part of the game.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I think.
But,
yeah,
like I said, we've been informed that we won't have it in Diablo 3, but they're claiming also that one of the reasons that we won't be having it is because it would add a couple of years into the development time, just so you could even do something as simple as, like you said, modify the interface. I mean, it's not like they're necessarily saying, mod support to the level that you get with, like, Half-Life games. It's different.
I think it's a horrible idea not having that in there.
Absolutely.
It's a Blizzard game.
Well,
I mean, I'll say this, StarCraft, because it's a pro gaming game.
Yeah.
That makes millions and millions of fun dollars in tournaments, can't have a customizable interface.
But how do we know that won't happen with Diablo 3? Maybe that's what they're hoping for. Maybe they're really just striving for the Diablo 3 PvPing to be like the thing for it. Like it'll essentially be Dota-y.
The World of Warcraft PvP that became into the World of Games too.
Yeah.
I mean, and they even made it into the advanced rated battlegrounds, which I only played for a little while before I quit. They were huge.
Yeah.
I mean, people loved them, and everybody had a different interface. So I really don't see how this. No, Blizzard, I'm gonna give you a no on this one. I don't like it.
Well, absolutely, but we're viewing it from the consumer side, so we're of course gonna be like no because it's something that we want.
Yeah, but it could have cost them millions upon millions upon millions of dollars.
Yes, it could be a totally sound decision on their part, but it's still something where they are sacrificing PR for it. They're definitely making a choice that is going to be very unpopular with most of the consumers, which, I mean, is a bad move, at least on that front, so we can say that, but
yeah,
there's only so much we can know. All right, what do we want to talk about next? I've only got a few stories in front of me here. You got most of them on there.
We can talk about Skyrim.
Oh, going to the Steam Cloud thing?
Yeah, we're going to talk. There's a couple stories about Skyrim that I really want to talk about. They've been showing off a lot of pictures of the facial generation stuff to make your character. Fantastic.
Yes.
It's fantastic. They showed off, I think, 30 or 40 pictures of every single race yesterday. They're all fantastic.
All of the races look awesome, too.
Yep.
That was out by last week, and it was really, really, really cool. They look just absolutely amazing. And if we have, facial changing that won't make our character look like a complete goofball every time, like most of my attempts in Oblivion were, that would be awesome. I know that would be a big step for it, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, yes, so images are out there. They're really cool to take a look at. And then also, as I was saying earlier, they are there was a little bit of a worry for a while that they were going with Games for Windows Live.
Because one of the initial mock-ups of the game packaging had the Games for Windows Live
logo
on it. And if you were listening, I believe 2 shows ago, I talked about Game for Windows Live with Age of Empires Online.
Yep. I think it was last week.
Yeah, last week. And Games for Windows Live recently has had a lot of problems with updates and stuff with games, where the update would allow cause the game to crash irreparably. You couldn't get it back ever. That caused a lot of flack.
Yeah,
and,
people would be unhappy about that, understandably.
Yeah, you can't play your game ever.
Yeah, which you paid for.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
But the Steamworks never really had that problem. I can't really name something off the top of my head.
I think it's mostly because they don't try to pigeonhole DRM into it.
Yeah.
Which,
might be
it's probably the biggest thing
because
for it.
Age of Empires
Steam's a pretty
Online
laissez-faire kind of
had
group.
an in-game store that you had to buy the upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
But Skyrim with the Elder Scrolls
will be on Steamworks instead.
Yeah, and
which is awesome.
Yeah, it will not be using Games for Windows Live for content delivery, save games, DRM, or any other general online nonsense.
Now, is Skyrim going to be available on Origin? Do we know?
I'm betting it'll have the integrated to it, but it won't. You probably can buy it through it.
Okay.
I don't see Bethesda doing something like that where they'd miss out on customers.
Well, no, I'm saying on both.
Yeah, probably will be.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I would assume so. If it's not on Origin, then you can probably add it to Origin. Like you can do, you can add games.
Can
to
you
Steam.
do that with Steam? I've never even run Origin. I really should, I guess.
Yeah, we probably should run Origin
before we continue to trash talk.
Trash talk EA. That's probably something we should do. See, look,
but I don't
our listeners
want to.
just saw that our bias is there, but it won't be, hopefully, eventually.
We'll see if I can bring myself to buy a game on it. I'll download it first, take a look at it, and see if it's really and truly worth ever buying a game on it.
Yeah.
Because from what I understand, if in fact the inactivity thing is true, where if you're inactive for too long, your games disappear, I will never, ever buy a game on Origin. Ever. Because that is absolutely ridiculous to me. That should be completely illegal because that is taking away what you paid for. That's just saying, sorry, you didn't lose it. There goes $60 fun.
Well, way more than that. You lose all your games.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm saying, that specific game hasn't been... Well, it's your account, I guess. So all of it would get wiped, yeah. Yeah, no,
but it's 2 years or something.
I know, but I mean, what if it's someone who's just like, I got a job, I haven't played games in forever. Somewhere down the road, they're like, oh my gosh, you know what I remember?
I just got an email from Neverwinter Nights, which I have not played
I'm guessing in a long time, yeah.
And they were saying, we're integrating this into Origin, so your Origin account now has your... Like, I have an Origin account now? And then I got the email from the grouping that had Spore underneath it, so I got an email from that saying, EA now just integrated all this into Origin.
So what you're saying is you have a really good way to test out Origin, because you automatically have some games in it.
I also have automatically a bunch of games in it, but I also automatically have games in it that are not going to probably be there when I open it up.
Try it.
I will.
Because I think it's based on account inactivity rather than the game.
Well, I can guarantee I have not opened the forums for Neverwinter Nights 8 years.
Jeez. I played that for literally, I think,
like
12 seconds.
13 or 14 years old. It was a fun game.
Yeah, I heard great things about it. I just
kind of like
didn't
a
have an
Diablo
opportunity.
dungeon crawler sort of thing.
I heard Neverwinter Nights 2 was better.
Yeah. And I believe there's a new one coming out eventually here.
Is there?
Yeah,
when was that announced?
EA.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
No,
yeah, they're just
E3. Sorry.
I was about to say, I guess they probably would do it because, it's them, but never mind.
Yeah, it was E3 2011.
Okay. Very cool, very cool. Do we know anything about that? Other than the fact that it might happen?
It says MMO action RPG.
So they're just trying to make Diablo.
Yeah.
Okay.
An MMOG. Massively
MMOG.
multiplayer game?
So are they just taking MMO and adding the G in there that everyone's been ignoring, or?
I don't know, but it says Atari posted a loss of $319 million fund dollars.
Jeez. Holy cow.
That's a pretty pretty big number loss right there.
What big, not industry, but what big chain does Atari own anymore these days?
That's a good question. We can find that out really quick thanks to the internet.
Where wandering minds go to learn.
Yes, very, very true. I don't know. It says Atari Interactive.
Doesn't say what they own.
All
right, whatever.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Do we want to go to our break, or do we want to try to kind of cram a story in here before the halfway point.
Cram another tiny story in.
Okay. What do we want to talk about?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 will have dedicated servers.
Yes. Didn't we? I thought we talked about this last week.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't think we reached the story. I think we had it last week,
we
but we didn't reach it. Yeah.
Yep. They originally had told us that they wouldn't have dedicated server support, but then Battlefield 3 started gaining stream, so naturally they have to spend the money to get dedicated servers.
Well, without their badly, they're losing this battle. They really need to try to step up anything that
because Call of Duty, they were planning on the Call of Duty Elite service that people pay for.
Yeah, which was gonna have wasn't it gonna have like movies or something like that?
It was going to be the stuff they give you for free that they did with Halo. Dude, remember back in the day when you go to the Bungie website and you could see all this stuff from your previous games?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, but you got to pay for it now.
Oh, good. Because why not get a couple extra bucks, I guess?
Why not?
When you're not going to be selling it to many people, you should get more money from it.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. But they will have dedicated server support, which I believe Battlefield 3 already had.
Yes. No, it's got to be a total reaction call by Modern Warfare. It's
got to be. It has to be. It's a very cool thing. Hopefully something will come out of it, but I think it's just a reaction that they had to do because they knew that they were slowly losing the PR war.
Yeah.
Which actually, I believe they lost the PR war.
Already. I think they're already toast. But you know what's the weirdest thing? Back when we started the show, Call of Duty was still the tank, and I trash talk them all the time. I almost feel sad watching them lose this. Like, I almost do feel a little bad for how quick they must have sunk a lot of money into this game, and if they end up not even making, like, a profit off of this, that's kind of a bummer for them. It's not the graceful way to go out. To kind of just be like, we're awesome, we're awesome, we're awesome, and then someone else just comes out and blows you out of the water, out of nowhere.
I'm reading comments about this on some of the websites that the stories are about, and the next comment is like, all we need is mouse support now. So, yeah. A lot of people really just don't care anymore. I mean, they milk the franchise for so much. I mean, Black Ops made
it made a lot, but also so many people say that it is like the worst Call of Duty they ever played.
It is.
And I think
it is the worst one I played.
Honestly, I think we probably should have looked at that and seen it coming a little bit more. Because once you've already failed your group that hard, and then another group comes up and or another company comes up and says, we're going to make a better version of your game, kind of. Not quite. I mean, they're definitely different. But then, I mean, I don't think that you have much of a chance anymore. No matter how much you go, yeah, this one's going to be awesome, I swear, Battlefield doesn't have an old one that was bad to point to. Whereas Call of Duty now has kind of a shot in the foot to try to come over.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be a crazy war on November 8th, and
yes, I really cannot wait for these games to come out so we can stop anticipating them.
Anticipating and figuring out which one's gonna be better than the other one.
Exactly, it's gonna be nice to just be like, okay, this is the only game we have to talk about anymore. We don't need to worry about Modern Warfare or Battlefield, whichever one wins.
We can say you can get these games at gaming generations.
Can we say that? I guess. I mean, technically, it's just a fact.
I think we can.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
And Steven's point. Yes,
it's true.
Well, we're gonna go to commercial.
Also, you can get Chinese food right next to them.
Yes,
That's
you can,
awesome.
and I believe there's a Subway and a few other things.
Yes. Other reasons to go to gaming generations other than games, food. All right.
But yes, we're gonna stop shelling our two advertisers because they're both awesome. I think I can say that.
We can sit here and just pander to them all we want. We just can't directly advertise.
Yes, but I'm gonna play some C418.
Who is from Minecraft?
He's the guy who made the Minecraft music. So if you out there in the listening world have listened to Minecraft music and loved it a lot, you're gonna love his album. It's like Minecraft music, but it's not exactly. And I believe you can get it right off his website. C418. Just type it into Google and you can listen to all this for free, or you can buy it from him if you want to. But we are going to play the song called Alive from his brand new album, 72 Minutes of Fame. Give him some fame. It's a little more than 72 minutes.
Whoa there. That was clever, by the way. I liked that.
It's 5 minutes long. So if you want to give us a call, please do if you want to. 715-346-2696. We'd be glad to take all of your calls for the next 5 minutes and 34 seconds. Yeah, that'd be really cool for you to call. Or you could like us on Facebook, 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I'll be reading right off there if you want me to. Yeah, you're listening to